Hi there. My name is Jason Kiles. I'm CEO of a company called Itcher. We are a leading entertainment discovery platform. We are an app that helps people discover entertainment that is most relevant to them. And the way that we do that is we aggregate user tastes and preferences across 5 different content verticals. So movies, TV shows, books, music, and games. We then leverage these data points to create user profiles, which enable us to generate more precise recommendations than most of the existing recommendation engines out there. Now, how do we know this works? Well, a couple ways. One is we have a feedback loop in the product that indicates to us that it works quite well. 2 is Google has actually told us it works as well. Google is a fan of ours, and they invited us to become a launch partner for the Google Home product when it was launched in 2016. They've also featured us earlier this year at CES as part of their smart home ecosystem. And they featured us again at Google I/O in the spring. So we believe that they're actually a good proof point for us as well. But one thing is clear. Over the last few years, we have seen an extreme proliferation of content delivery platforms and channels that created so much content that it's overwhelming us and it's confusing us as consumers. And so what we experience is that we're all struggling day in and day out to identify what is the most relevant entertainment for us. How do we find things quickly and easily that we're going to enjoy consuming? We all seem to sit in front of the TVs now, flicking through the remote controls aimlessly, trying to find something quickly. We're struggling to actually identify those titles that are most appealing to us, again, fairly quickly and efficiently. On a Saturday or Friday or Saturday night, we as couples or families or groups of friends are also struggling to identify how do we find titles that we're going to enjoy watching together. And despite all of these challenges, it seems as if a lot of the existing platforms have missed the mark. And why is that? It's an interesting question, and we believe this creates an opportunity for a product like ours. But as an interesting anecdote, in the United States, individuals will spend 1.3 years of their lives searching for something to watch on TV. Think about that, 1.3 years of their lives. So what makes us unique, and why are we well positioned to solve this problem? Well, in a survey we conducted earlier this year of 5,000 individuals from around the world, 70% of them told us that when they want a spot-on recommendation, they ask a like-minded friend. So the way we generate recommendations is similar to that experience. So we emulate the experience of asking a like-minded friend for a recommendation. So what does this mean in practice? Well, we take these data points that I mentioned before about understanding tastes and preferences of our users, and we create these user profiles. We then map these user profiles against everyone else in the Itcher universe to see which ratings of our users are most similar to yours. So for example, if you and I are 90% similar based on the movies that we've rated, chances are if I go like another movie that you haven't yet seen, you're probably going to like that movie. And similar, because we're operating across these 5 verticals, if I don't like a book or an artist, you're probably not going to like that artist as well. So that positions us uniquely in the marketplace by linking users rather than products, which is what a lot of the existing recommendation engines do. Having now been in business for 3 years and spent that 3 years sort of running millions of optimization tests to evolve and optimize the algorithm, we're now in a place where we actually want to leverage this technology and embed it into third-party platforms. So we that in fact can use our algorithm in the unique way that we recommend content to power discovery engines of pay TV, OTT, and other content delivery platforms. And we think we can provide more precise recommendations than they can do on their own, again, because of the breadth and depth of data that we have access to that they wouldn't necessarily have access to on their platforms on their own. Happy to explain more if you have any more questions, but obviously there's a lot more mechanics behind how that would work. We're also continuing to evolve our B2C product. So over the next couple weeks, we're very excited to launch a new feature which is called Couple Recommendations, which is meant to solve one of those problems I alluded to earlier, which is how do we on a weekend identify content that we're going to enjoy watching with our spouse, our significant other, or families, or groups of friends. So we have the ability of linking our user profiles together, or you as a user, to link your profiles with an individual or a group of friends that will enable us to generate recommendations that you as a group will enjoy watching together. So we think this is quite unique, and we're also pretty sure it might save some marriages along the way. We are well positioned as well, we believe, to capture a meaningful share of a pretty sizable addressable market. So it's a $50 billion market that we operate in. We don't generate any revenue at the moment. We've been focused on product development until this point in time. But in Q1 of next year, we will kick off our first revenue stream, which will be in advertising and affiliate. Soon thereafter, we'll launch a brand dashboard, which will enable brand partners of ours, content producers and distributors, to access a back-end portal to leverage our data to help them make better decisions around content production and distribution. We'll soon also be launching our first B2B partner, which will then kick off a B2B SaaS revenue stream for us, which will be quite sizable in the future. And then within 18 to 24 months, we'll be rolling out a freemium model that will enable some of our users to actually upgrade and actually unlock additional features and benefits on the Itcher platform. As I said, we've been operating for 3 years to date. During this period, we've acquired 250,000 registered users on B2C. That has been entirely through organic channels. We haven't invested anything in paid acquisition. So we're actually pretty proud of that number. We've also in the last 2 months signed a number of LOIs and NDAs on the B2B side. So we are actually now scaling up the B2B side of the business. We've had 3 requests in the last 4 weeks for proofs of concept as well. We have a very experienced management team and advisory board who come from the media and entertainment space, and we're integrated with 15 data providers. Just quickly, we are actually kicking off a pre-series fundraise where we're raising $2 million to build upon the $3 million that's been invested in the business thus far. And finally, our vision is bold. We believe the way that we generate recommendations can extend well beyond entertainment into products, restaurants, travel, and other sectors as well. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen.